What's up? This is War Pony. So this video is going to be about Israel has signed its death sentence, its death certificate. Israel has signed its death certificate for all that's going on over there in Israel. They've already signed their death certificate. For people that don't understand this, you either got to be younger than early 40s, or for some reason you just haven't studied the history of the Middle East. When it comes to the Middle East, this is the worst situation that could have happened. This is the worst as far as war goes, the worst situation that could have happened over in the Middle East. And Israel is going to be the enemy to the end of time. So for people that might think about a ceasefire is not going to change the mentality of the people. The mentality of the people now, the culture over there in the Middle East, is that Israel is a marked country. It's one thing to be a marked man, it's another thing to be a marked country. So in Israel, let me help you understand this, because see, I didn't even know this. The war with Israel and the Palestinian people, this has been an ongoing war since 1967, when Israel first started occupying the Gaza Strip, like illegally, as they say, and just harassing the people in different form of fashions, posting up, making bases, if you will, in the Gaza Strip. In the beginning, this shows you how it's not Israeli land, because in the beginning, Israel had to have a passport just to go there. So how is your land and you have to have a passport? Here in this country, where I'm living at right now in America, if you go to Puerto Rico, you don't need a passport, because it's American land. If you go to Hawaii, you don't need a passport, because it is American land. So if the Gaza Strip was Israeli land, then why were they using passports? So what you need to understand is these wars have been going on since 1967. These feuds, these harassments have been going on since 1967. Right? So now we're at the climax of this. We're at the climax of these wars. And so now you see how it looked. It's been a timeline going on decade after decade, through all the 70s, through all the 80s, through all the 90s, 3 major decades. The 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. Okay? You get to now in 2024, where now this war, this ongoing conflict, if you will, has now beefed up to famine, destruction, all in the Gaza Strip. All these other decades, none of this was going on. None of that never happened. In fact, they have said that this is the worst war concerning Israel in 50 years. So since I've been born, there has not been wars this big. Okay, so with that being said, with that being said, um, this is the let's put it how it needs to be said. This is the worst war, basically, that has happened over there between Israel and the Palestinian people. If you just get tunnel vision, think about Hamas. If you just keep thinking about Hamas, this is what's going to blind you in the situation. This is what's going to blind you in the situation. Because it's bigger than Hamas, obviously. I don't think Hamas was in this war back in 67, back in 1967. So it's bigger. So if you just think about Hamas, you're not gonna see really how bad this really is, because you're thinking it's basically a Hamas effort or a Hamas perspective, or it's defined by what Hamas has done. Really, it's defined by this ongoing conflict. This ongoing conflict is what's defining what's happening right now. It wouldn't be happening right now if there was not this ongoing conflict. So, with that being said, that's the main situation you got going. You got this ongoing conflict that has actually met a paramount level. This paramount level, right? And so consider the whole Middle East has been watching this going on. Now, let's double park right there. You got this ongoing conflict, however you want to put it, that's been going on between the Palestinian people and the Israeli people. Now all these neighboring countries are now seeing it come to a point that has never been before. And in this point where it's never been before, Israel is to blame. Israel is the one with the problem. Israel is now at fault. I don't care how you want to look at it. If they have the right to defend themselves, they have the right to do this, the right to do that. Not the right to cause famine. Not the right to cause famine. Not the right for innocent people that had nothing to do with this attack, October 7th, right? You don't have the right to make innocent people suffer for it unless it was a collective effort of the Palestinian people. Like the collective effort of the Americans gang stalking me and gang stalking Christians. That's a collective effort. So we have the right to say that America deserves to suffer collectively. I can explain my part. They can't explain theirs, can they? They never could they? Okay. Now, back to Israel. If it was a collective effort of the Palestinian people, then you would have the privilege of saying, well, we deserve to make all of them suffer because they was doing something collectively. They were all together, united, you know what I'm saying? But that's not the case. You can't speak for all that community like that as in your actions. Your actions are speaking as if to say all of them deserve to suffer. That's how it's insinuated. Through the idea of, you're basically saying they all deserve to suffer. You're not letting food in. And see, what I think they're thinking is, we're just not going to get no food to Hamas. Hamas is not getting no food. We don't care if they suffer. We don't care if other people suffer. We're going to make sure, this is what I feel the attitude is. We're going to make sure Hamas don't get no food. Hamas don't get no aid, even at the expense of innocent children and people. That's how I take it. That's how I take it, right? So That's what I think the mentality is, because that's the only thing that makes sense. Because you're not trying to hold, if you're innocent in the situation, you're not trying to make innocent people suffer, right? Right? So you're holding back food for who? You're stopping aid and food for who? What, for what reason? To stop Hamas. I don't understand why no one else breaks this stuff down. So that's the reason. That's the reason. They're holding back food, trying to make sure Hamas gets nothing. I understand what they're doing. It doesn't make it right, but I understand what they're doing. They're holding back food just to make sure they get no food. So even if they're in there, wherever they at in there, they want to make sure they ain't getting nothing. No food, no aid, no nothing. Because how they probably see it is, well, if we give enough food in there, eventually Hamas is going to take it over. Think about it. Hamas is going to strong arm the food. Hamas is going to eventually, they armed. They ain't going to get no food. This is what you ain't think about. Hamas ain't going to get no food? Of course they are. They're going to feel like we're defending the country. How can we not eat? They're going to rationalize that even to the civilians. And the civilians ain't going to put up a fight in the Palestinian area. If the Hamas steps out of the shadows after all the aid has come, and they say, we need some of that food. In the middle of the night, they come and get some of that food, right? You think the Palestinian civilians are going to say, no, you can't have nothing. And these men are armed and everything. They basically represent the authorities there. So, of course, they're going to get some of the food. They will get some of the aid. You don't think they're going to get none of it? So all the aid is just going to come to the Palestinian people. I'm trying to show you the Israeli logic. You have to understand. See, one thing people don't do is understand the logic of allies and enemies. You have to do both. Sun Tzu taught this in The Art of War. I must know myself and I must know my enemy. You must know both. Most civilians are people that don't study war. They feel no need to study their enemy because of their disgust for their enemies, or how much they despise their enemies. They won't find time to actually study their enemies properly. That's most people that are not militants. You're not a military person. You don't feel the need to, the average population of any country don't feel the need to study your enemy to understand your enemy. Or even if it's not an enemy, an ally, however you see Israel, friend or foe, you should be studying them to see their logic behind this. And I haven't heard any politician talking about it. All I hear is Joe Biden talking about, well, we need to get, we don't agree with what they're doing and all of that. Famine shouldn't be caused. You got all these protesting, but do you understand what's going on? I can explain it. Can you explain it? So really, I don't think you should be talking on it. I understand your passion. I understand some of you're pointing out the obvious. We all know it's famine over there, our borderline. The logic behind it is they don't want Hamas to get nothing. Now you understand. So they're stopping the trucks not because of, well, we don't want the Palestinian people to have anything. They are so bitter and butthurt because of what Palestinian the Hamas did to them initially, that they will let other innocent people starve. This is their mentality. This is basically what you have to conclude. They will let innocent people starve just so Hamas don't get any of that food and aid. Because we know, let's be realistic, Hamas is going to get some of that food and aid. You think they're going to go hungry or even near hunger when aid is coming in? Think about that. No. In fact, some civilians will feel, because Israel is around, hey, let's feed the soldiers. I'm pretty sure that all the Palestinians are not against Hamas, right? So if it comes in, you don't think they're gonna break bread with the Hamas people? Of course they are. And this is the reason why Israel is withholding aid from coming in there, just as a military strategy against Hamas. But the problem with that military strategy is they do not care about innocent people suffering under that military strategy. They don't care about that. They don't care about it. That's their attitude. And you have to read between the lines. That's their attitude. They don't care if they're more focused on the fact that we are going to make sure these people get nothing. They're not going to be fed over there. They're not going to be sitting up getting over like a fat rat. They ain't going to be doing that. You know what I mean? They're not going to be doing that, man. Okay? So that's the logic behind it. Okay? So that's what you got to look at. So now you understand why Israel is doing it. Just in case I don't know why they're holding aid. I don't know why they're withholding aid. I don't know why they don't just let the trucks go the natural routes. I don't know why they would just not let it come in. They see what's going on. Read between the lines. This is war. It's not a nice attitude going on right now. It's not a nice attitude that's going on right now over there. Not on either side. You're looking at it comfortably, chilling, eating popcorn, watching CNN. I wish they would do that. I wish. These people have had their last nerve struck on both sides. I mean, think about it. Look at the conditions that war brings to a person's temperament and disposition. They don't. Their attitude is warlike, where they don't care if everybody suffers. They just gonna make sure Hamas gets nothing. That's it. Read between the lines. They could easily let it in just for the Hamas people, and they still shooting people, which means they just got a nasty attitude right now. Just deal with it. Just accept it. Israel has a nasty attitude right now. Do I need to show you? You can't see that? They got a nasty attitude. You don't think so? You don't think these military men that's shooting these people, running for food, they don't got a nasty attitude? That's butthurt. They are butthurt and bitter. Just like the Americans with me. I just went grocery shopping. The whole grocery store was gang stalking. Oh, they don't think I know. Man, come on, man. Using children and young men and young boys and all of that. All kind of weirdo stuff and all. Listen, man, putting women in front of my face and stuff. Listen, I don't have no desire for a companion right now. I'm in spiritual warfare. I'm too busy winning my wars, buddy. That's all I'm focused on. See, when you're on my level, some will say it's the level of kings. Whatever, a leader, right? I don't care. Like, I have satisfaction in other ways that you don't. Just like a rich man. A rich man, to be truthful, I mean, you can get a woman, but do you really need one? I mean, you got all your needs met, everything, you're living good and comfortable. I mean, you can kind of chill like that. You know that, right? You can kind of chill like that, by the way. You know that, right? I mean, you can chill like that. I'm on levels where I'm not even worried about women. You know what I'm saying? You can put women all in my face, and like that's what they tried to do in the grocery store. I don't I'm not thinking about that right now, because I know that once I win my wars on a higher level, I can have any woman that's available, that's single, that I want. I can have any woman I want. All I have to do, see, this is what men should do. This is how you should raise your boys into manhood. Don't go chasing no women at no young age. I don't care if you look like a sucker to the community. Go get your education. Look like the nerd, however people want to label you. Get your education, get your money. Don't play the cool guy in school. Get your money, get your education, right? And you're set and good. Now you can ride around. Boom. Ow. Now you can go anywhere you want, and you're attracting women everywhere you go. Because they see you got it together. They look at you and see you got it together. You got a car, you got things going on. You got nice clothes, you know what I'm saying? You carry yourself like, like you good. You know what I'm saying? Now you can have your pick. You don't have to pick someone out of convenience. Most men, 30% of the men are with women out of convenience. You ain't really want that kind of woman. You ain't really want that woman. It was a convenience of circumstance. That's not exactly what you want. Half of y'all are with women that you didn't really want. And you can call it love, you can call it whatever you want. But that's not the best you want. And if you got your money, and got your education, and you got your own place, you got your own car, you got everything you need, now you can pick close as you possibly can. And with God guiding you, He knows what you like. With God guiding you, with Yahweh guiding you, you can get the exact woman you want, that God wants you to have. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like, see, I'm back to, well, all I need to do is get to another level in life, and listen, I get the woman I want. That's it. Until then, I'm not choosing women out of convenience. Some woman I seen at the grocery store that put her butt in my face on purpose, like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I mean, it's kind of self-flattery, don't you think? Why would you? You're a complete stranger. How you know I'm gonna be attracted to you? Oh, because you have a nice body. I'm supposed to be. So it's gonna work out because I'm gonna be attracted to you just because of how you look. Alone, a man like me, a leader, I'm gonna be attracted to you just based on your appearance. Not so, buddy. Because I don't even see a man like me. I don't know if you're with the enemies. I don't know if you probably are. You look at you. You're putting yourself in my face. You're probably with the enemies. So why would I try to holler at you? You're already in my face, which means you're probably with them. Now you see how sharp I am, bro. Don't ever doubt my intellect. Don't ever doubt me. When I'm not talking, huh? Come on, man. No, I don't care. I don't need a woman right now. I'm not damaged. I'm not saying that out of being damaged. Some people say I don't need a woman because they damaged. You so broken and damaged, you don't want no woman. That's not me. Look at my situation. You see what I'm talking about? I'm talking about these wars in Israel and Hamas. I don't need no distractions. You have to come here like military. Anybody that's attached to me got to be like military. You have to come here, respect my rank. Don't care about yours. Don't care about where you come from. You got to respect mine. Because if mine is tore up, God is coming for you. If I'm damaged, God is coming for you. That's all I'm saying. I show people the risk of joining themselves with me. And I always tell people this. I always say this. I've always said this. If you disrespect me too much, God is going to separate me and you. It happens every time. That's just how it is. I've experienced it more than one time. God is going, obviously, for me to say it beforehand, If people play around me too much, God is gonna separate me and you, and ain't nothing I can do about it. That's just because it's more important things going on right now, which comes full circle to my point. Because full circle to my point, I got this going on. Okay, we on the road. We're doing what most black people did not do. We're defeating the integrity and character of the Americans. What they did was join the Americans. I decided not to do that. People thought that was suicide. Now they see it's not suicide. They see that now. You thought it was, didn't you? Now you like, whoa, okay. Now they frustrated. Now my enemies are frustrated. I go in the store, I got a whole store gang stalking, don't think I know. And at the end of the day, my thing is with that, what that's gonna mean? I mean, what it's gonna mean to these numbers? You having child marriage? What's that's gonna mean to that, bro? I walk around like an immortal, bro. I'm an immortal. What is it gonna mean to that? That's what we talk about. Whether I'm doing something wrong or right, what is you having child marriage gonna do to the war? The war is won because you have child marriage, bro. Ain't nothing you can do to manipulate that. For future reference, for all these little gang stalkers that like to go in the grocery store, for future reference, let me tell you something. Take notes to this, people that's watching, because this is how you need to think. For future reference, bro, the war is won. You like Jim Carrey on Dumb and Dumber. Oh, we just went to the moon. You remember when he was when Jim Carrey was waiting for the girl in the bar? Oh, we just went to the moon. Bro, you thought it was me that's like Jim Carrey. It's you. Well, we won the war, bro. We won the war from having child marriage in 45 states. So what you doing? What you doing gang stalking in the grocery store? Because you're not going to win the war. The war's been won. It's like playing the Super Bowl and I won and everybody's still running around at the stadium. Bro, everybody's going home. The Super Bowl is over. I won. I got the ring and everything. That's my status. I can't speak for other people that's been gang stalked. My status is I got the trophy. I got the ring. Listen, you lose. You don't have the luxury of still running around and you got child marriage laws in your country. You passed new child marriage laws under Donald Trump's administration while Donald Trump was in the White House the last time. You passed child marriage laws. How you gonna stand up in my face? That's our claim to fame. If you want to, if I ever use that term, that's our claim to fame. That's my claim to fame. You can't win past that. I don't care who it is. I don't care how young you are, or how old you are, or how experienced you are as an agent. You can't beat this. That's how you know God provided this portion for me, like a beautiful cake, whoop, right off the cookie sheet. You can't beat it. You can't beat it, bro. That's how you know God is with me, man. Because he's giving me information that totally defeats the Americans. And they can't come back from it. Now, in my own efforts, I would still be, you know what I'm saying, doing, you know. But when God does something, it's done so right. It's done so right. They can't come back from it, can they? Like the streets say, you can't come back from that. You can't come back from having child marriage laws passed under Donald Trump administration. I can see if it was old laws. Just now passed new child marriage laws 4 years ago, bro. Bro, you just passed new child marriage laws. But you trying to test me and see what my integrity is at. You don't think that's a little goofy for a real man or woman? You don't think that's a little childlike? No pun intended. They ain't a little childlike to you. I think it is. Because real men are going to acknowledge the stats and the numbers. Real masters are done with this. You know what? They were done with it as soon as I started talking about child marriage laws. Real masters. And all we have left are those who like to play games and shenanigans and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Foolery, foolishness. That's all we got going. That's a circus. Because at the end of the day, before I even entered the grocery store, I won. I won before I even went there. I came up with the wins. I came up as the champ. Solid, bruh. Solid. Not even halfway solid with it. And then these other wars and things are going on, man. Listen, bro. What are y'all doing? Game stalking in the grocery store like a big old basketball game. Like a big basketball team. 20 people on the basketball team throwing the ball around. What y'all, to knock off Harlem Globetrotters? That's what you are, man? Man, come on, man. That's how it looked to me. Man, I'm a soldier, man. You know what that look like to me? Foolishness, man. I'm classy with my wins. This is cashmere warfare. Suede warfare. This is warfare. This is warfare cashmere. Cashmere warfare, bro. I'm a cashmere soldier. Oh yeah. Feel that. Feel that. Feel that. You feel them wins. It feels like cashmere, don't it? Yeah. Can't be serious. These wars. Listen, you see how I do? I win cozy, man. You know what I'm saying? I win wars in my love zone, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what listen, bro. You feel me? I win wars with the lights down low, man. Hey, I win wars with the lights down low, man. With the candles on and stuff, man. And listen, loving myself, man. In my own love zone, loving myself, man. Listen, I'm winning wars in my love zone, man. Loving myself, man. You hear me? Listen, with the lights down low, with the candles on, man. I'm winning wars on that level, on that lane, man. That's cozy warfare, man. You hear me? That's cashmere warfare. Why they running around? You see how they running around? See, come on, man. That's obnoxious. That stuff they have going on out there is obnoxious. Do you ever really see me obnoxious? I turn up, but am I obnoxious? Am I obnoxious? No. You can never label me obnoxious. I turn up. Okay? This is the real art of war, bro. Real men do not acknowledge that foolishness in the grocery store. We don't acknowledge that. What that's supposed to mean? So if I did lose, according to you, what would happen? That's all I'm asking. If I did lose, what would happen according to these wins we got over here? That's doing all the matter of facting in this situation. I'm winning in a matter of facts fashion. What you gonna do with that? Because I don't gotta prove my sexuality. I'm celibate right now. I'm celibate. I ain't thinking about no sex. I'm a 42-year-old man. I've already had my feel on what sex is. I'm pretty sure. I should have by now. I got married young. I was 22 years old when I got married. Early 20s, best time to get married. Early to mid 20s. You can't tell me nothing about enjoying a woman. Come on, man. Listen, man. Listen, man. Listen. I'm too old to be worried about that. I ain't worried about that, man. I got a more mature approach, I guess you could say, to sexuality. I guess you didn't know that, did you? Well, with all the rumors and the crazy stuff you heard, you didn't know I had a mature approach to sexuality in women, did you? Well, I don't run after everything I see. Obviously not. Women put their bodies in my face. Listen, man. I have a mature approach to women. If you put it in my face, you're going to put it in somebody else's face. That's how I see it. Which means I wouldn't want you as a woman. If it's in my face, you kind of got that about you. You know what I'm saying? Why would I want, and you looking a certain way, dress a certain way, why would I want you to be my woman when you looking like, I'm not going to try to change you. If you are already not like I like a woman to be dressed, because I feel like, listen, a real man can relate to what I'm saying. If you not dressed properly, you know how men feel. If we just having sex, let's say if I was not spiritual and doing the right thing, If we just having sex, I really don't care how you dress, because you ain't my woman. But if I make a dedication to you and you make a dedication to me, and everybody get to see what they want, what I got, what's the use of dedicating myself to you? What's the use? What's the use? I don't see no use of doing that. If everybody can, there's nothing left to the imagination. Everybody can see what it is. Why should I hold it down? Why should I? You feel me? Mm-mm. And so the woman that was in front of me in the grocery store, you can see the crack of her butt. She got these thin pants on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, the next man done seen it. Everybody done seen it. Why would I want that? That's my mentality. Love is all about having something that's just for you, not for control reasons. It's for special reasons, especially for you. That's my logic. Not to control somebody. You want something that's what makes marriage special. It's only for you. If it ain't only for you, I don't see why would you get married. It doesn't make sense. That's how I see it, bro. That's how I see it. Like, nobody can change my perspective on that. I got a wholesome, logical perspective on it. If it ain't mine, I don't want it. That's how it is. That's how I am. Okay, so with this war in Hamas, with this war with Hamas and Israel, right? It's a death certificate. It really is, because it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. All the neighboring countries are going to feel like they need to retaliate against Israel. And it doesn't matter, all these Americans over here, okay, you want a ceasefire. A ceasefire is not going to stop all these neighboring countries, bro. They don't care nothing about UN. They don't care nothing about NATO, BRICS, or any other country. They don't care nothing about that. You got people that don't even think nothing about those countries and their policies or nothing, bro. WHO or none of that. You're forgetting about all the guerrilla soldiers, all these guerrilla soldiers in guerrilla warfare that is not all they're gonna look at is they do not consider none of the global community perspective on this. All they need to see is these children dead and these children in famine dying from starvation. That's all they need to see. That's why I tell you over and over again, do not give reasonable ammunition to unreasonable people. Do not give unreasonable ammunition to unreasonable people. Now, unreasonable people have reasonable ammunition. No pun intended. They can say, well, don't y'all see what's going on? You know they're unreasonable as terrorists are in their perspective, right? And how they do things. Because my thing is, how you know I'm not a terrorist is because I don't believe in their methods. Right? I don't believe it's effective. I don't believe it works. It can make a statement, but it's not effective. I'm all about effectiveness. That's how you know I'm not a terrorist. That's how you know I won't go out and do some random stuff, because then what? You still have the whole community that you hated. It's just not effective. But you have these terrorists that say, okay, you see why we have a problem with these people? Do you see? This is why. This is why, man. So I don't believe, this is my thing about terrorists. Now let's double park right there. while we talking about terrorists, so that you understand me clearly, okay? I am cool with Iran, North Korea, China, and Russia, but I am no terrorist. And the reason why, you might be surprised why the reason why. Because my point of view is the black man, if anybody was a terrorist in America, it would be the black man. In our country, the terrorists would be, without thinking about being Americanized and all these sports and music and how we all should get along, based on reality of all the history of this country, the person that could be who would be inclined to be a terrorist is the black man. We just never took it that far. Look at all that has happened to his community. Look at all that's going on. Look at what his ancestors went through in slavery. You see my perspective? Now, if you was in a different country like the Middle East and your community, your bloodlines was in slavery, y'all still got discrimination. What you think they're gonna do in the Middle East? They're gonna turn up. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna turn up, bro. And it's gonna be this ongoing thing between them and white people. They ain't gonna sit back and just let white people do what they do. That's what we've been doing. So, like, I feel like the terrorist, the closest thing to a terrorist would be a black man for all the right reasons. Like I said, I'm not saying in this case the black man will be unreasonable, but you don't give unreasonable people reasonable ammunition. I can say, look how black people have been treated. You might call me unreasonable. Let's say you put me in that boat. But you giving me, right here in America, but you giving me reasonable ammunition. Look at these gang stalkers. Look at all this stuff going on. Look how they've been playing with me before I even attacked them. They ain't telling you that, are they? They were playing with me before I even did anything. Spiritually speaking, they listen, you should be smart enough to know they're going to paint their own narrative of all of this situation. How you think I just found them? And just think about it. I'm a regular American person. When did I just wake up one day wanting to do something to them? Think about it, man. They kept playing and playing and playing, and I rose up. That's what it was. God knows that's the truth. Okay? And just like they always do, black men, they try to assassinate your character to the community. You know what I'm saying? And paint these pictures. And tell these half-truths and whole lies. And you sitting up with nothing about me but an attempt to assassinate my character. But like I said, a black man could be the terrorist here, and he has reasonable ammunition. Okay, look how you treated my community. Look how you treated us in slavery. Look how you treated my family. Look how you treated me out here. Look at all these gang stalkers. Look at all this stuff going on, and white folks allowing it to happen. Like I don't know that. Okay, so I couldn't be inclined to be terroristic? Of course I could. But I don't choose to be. And this is why. But black people, you need to know, you could be. I will understand it. I will feel you. And some people don't understand it some people don't think about that because the terrorist element is so much removed. It's so removed out of America. And it seems so unreasonable for a black person or an American to think like that we don't even give thought to the possibility. The reason why I don't believe in terrorism is because I don't believe in the method. Now, let's double park right there again. I don't agree with the method, but I do understand the perspective. I don't have to agree with your methods of how you handle your enemies. But what many Americans don't do is look at the perspective of the terrorists. Because you dismiss them based on the methods. You dismiss them based on the methods. And you don't even qualify the perspective because of the methods. You disqualified the perspective because of the methods. I don't do that. I've listened to the terrorists, and you know what most of them, I'm gonna summarize how most of them feel. People are invading their community. This is what you don't realize. They're not just bent on destroying people. There's core issues. There's core issues of why they turned up like that no one wants to look at. Another thing, most terrorist groups that's been around for a long time have been subject to racist white Americans if they've been around long enough, because their communities have been subject to racist white Americans. Well, how do you think the racist white Americans was in the 1960s in the world, in the overall world in the Middle East? Oh, they were just good old white people out there, but they hate black people back home. So racist white people, when they were really racist, I mean by way of government and military and police, all three of those, police, military, and government was racist at one time, right? Now, at that time when government, police, and military were racist, how do you think they was in the overall world? They were racist out there too. You have not pondered, well, you're right. They were racist out in the whole world. Yeah. And this is why terrorists hate America. Not just because of them coming over there. They have experienced racism. You know how they've experienced it? Oh, so white Americans have not made other nations feel their racism. They have not been subject. So white racist Americans have never made other countries subject to their racism. That's what you're trying to get me to believe. That it's just the black folks. But the racism never went no further than America. Think about it. Of course it did. And you know how it did? They went over there and did not acknowledge men's manhood. Like boys, like they call them black dudes, how they call us boys over here. They didn't acknowledge their manhood, their principles, nothing. That's how they was racist. They did not see them as men. This is racist. When you challenge and play with people like they children. Yes, it is. And I guarantee you, that's what they went over there like. Okay, they ain't have time to settle in and call them racist names and all of that kind of stuff. But so how was they racist over there? They were racist by going over there, treating them like they're children. Like, we gonna take this, we gonna do this, we gonna do that. Not even looking eye to eye with these people. That's how they looked at it. Like, they don't even, and that's what they complain about with the Americans. They don't even, like, you know, they over here doing this, they over there. We don't want them here. That's the main complaint of these terrorists, man. Foundationally, they do not want Americans over there, man. That's one of the main things, man. Involving themselves in these issues, man. That's the main thing. This is how the Americans were racist in the Middle East. They went over there, they went to all these other countries, and they went over there and they treated these people like they can't think for themselves. And not only that, insulting their intelligence by coming over there with all these different motives taken from the community. That's what they did, bruh. And so many old school terrorist groups holds this perspective of the Americans. Okay? And that's their perspective. So I can understand that perspective. Although I do not agree with the terrorist methods, I understand his perspective. Like, these Americans are coming over here, like, playing around in our country. Halfway racist, not acknowledging us as men. I get it. And you don't think these racists know that how they've been treating black people? Of course they know about that. You don't think deep enough. They do think about, oh yeah, you know, the racists, the white Americans, they enslaved those African people. And they think they helping us. See, you don't look at it like that. See, you don't see that right there. Let's parallel park. The terrorists don't have a problem with black people. Ooh. Oh, the terrorist got something. So the terrorist has something. When the terrorist is attacking America, what is he thinking? I want to get these black folks. Is that what he's thinking? Really? Or is he thinking about these white folks that's been flying all around? What you think he's thinking about? Oh, yeah, let's get these black Americans. Really, bro? You think he's thinking that? No, he's not. In fact, he probably think he's liberating us. You've been oppressed. They oppressed those Africans over there. African Americans. They call them African American. They oppressing the black people. Some people call them, they like to be called black or African American. They oppressing them. We liberating them. They may feel subconsciously when attacking America, they're liberating you and avenging you for what all you've been through as a community. Oh, you never thought about that, did you? Now you see where I'm at. Now you see where I'm at, buddy. You ain't never had that thought, have you? That the terrorist is actually feeling like subconsciously he avenging. In the back of his mind, he think, I'm helping black people. I'm avenging them from their oppression that they've been through. From the very beginning and even now. You didn't look at it that way, did you? See, that's what I'm saying. So I don't disagree with the terrorist perspective. I disagree with the methods. And the reason why I truly foundationally, how you know I ain't just saying that? Because I'm giving you the detailed reasons why I disagree with the methods. The reason why is I don't feel it's effective. Okay, so you blow up a mall. You blow up a library. You blow up some marketplace. You still have a whole government. You still have a whole community. You still have a whole military. You still have a whole everything. You did nothing. But in a world where you're in the Middle East, sometimes that's the only statement you can make. So then I understand that too. That's the only statement you can actually make, because you don't have the funds to do this, that, and the third, and you don't have everything in place. So so it's rather than do nothing, you rather make a statement. That's all it's doing. You're making somebody suffer. You're making somebody lose. I get it, but I just don't agree with those methods. I don't feel it's effective. See, me, I'm a spiritual soldier. I'm doing what many terrorists and Muslims would love to have done. Do it by God's way, God's means. See, in the end, you see who's the truth. I can't make this up. Because even when it comes to wars with the terrorists and what they do and how they do things, when you do it God's way, see, when they pay attention and say, see how he did it, see how Marshall did it? That's how we should have did it this whole time. All we had to do was fast. We already are religious people. What better way to do it than let God do it? We should have did it Marcello's way the whole time. I'm not trying to be funny when I say this. This is like a terrorist wet dream. For me to subdue all of the American community without one gun, without one weapon. See, Sun Tzu taught the clever fighter wins with ease. That's what Sun Tzu taught. To fight without bloodshed. To fight without weapons being even drawn. I won this war like that because God did the executions of this community. You see what I'm saying? And if I sit down with a terrorist and say, this is what I did. The Americans played with me. Yeah, they played with me. They played with my ancestors. But let me tell you what I did. Terrorists say, what you do? What you do? I'm going to tell you what I did. I came to Yahweh. I acknowledge Yahweh. I am a Christian. I do not hide that from you. Okay? I come to Yahweh. I ask Yahweh. I offer this food as an offering for you to handle the Americans. Yahweh began to destroy this community with COVID-19 and all these different things, all these different issues, all these things that's going on with them right now. Even up into the politician realm and the government, all the politicians, all the things that they're going through. Look at everything they're going through. I played my position as a spiritual warrior. And God took care of it. I didn't have to go out and bomb anything. I didn't have to go out and do anything. See, people don't look at my position, how clean it is. Why they labeling me as a monster? Now, when you see me talk as if I was having a dialogue with a terrorist, you see how clean my situation is. But you've been making it like it's a terrorist position. But when I actually show you a dialogue, give you an example of a dialogue, you see actually how clean my position really is. You see how clean it really is. I didn't have to do any of that. I didn't have to go out there and bomb anybody. See, my enemies are so spoiled. I got spoiled enemies. Oh, you ain't never heard of such a thing. Spoiled enemies is people that complain and I ain't put no hands on them. Complain and I ain't took their life. Complain and I ain't burnt nobody out here. I ain't slashed nobody. I always keep a weapon. When I was at the grocery store, I had a weapon on me then. What you think I would have done if anybody jumped? All that yapping they doing in the grocery store. If anybody would have jumped, what you think I would have did? But I maintained my clean position. You feel me? But at the same time, I'm an armed man. I am an armed man. That's how I carry myself. It's a mentality of survival that many of you have not adjusted to. I am an armed man. Okay? Which makes me even cleaner because I haven't hurt anyone. You know what I'm saying? I have not damaged any of these people. That makes my enemies spoiled, acting like I've done something to them. Physically speaking, when I've let God handle the whole situation. Because my fasting is not witchcraft. I don't fast and then it just happens. No, my fasting is not connected to demonic spirits. My fast is connected to Yahweh. So you should think about that. If God allows it, that means you deserve it. If God does something to you after I fast, then that means you deserved it then. It don't take a rocket scientist to understand that concept and perspective. If I fast and something happened to you, you deserved it. That means I was right for targeting you. And so when I talk to the terrorists, yeah, I didn't have to do nothing. I didn't have to go out here and bomb nothing. I didn't have to go do nothing. I went on fast. I brought it before God. See how clean my situation is as opposed to how they painting it and everything? Look how clean that really is, bro. How cleaner can it get? Considering I should do something, right? Let's double park right there. Considering I should do something, right? I should do something, right? Okay, so you established that, right? Okay, so for people that acknowledge God, you feel like I should do something before God, right? I should bring it to God, right? That's the best thing a spiritual person would do, right? Okay, so I did that. So I'm doing the best thing I should do, right? And you know all we got? Once again, spoiled enemies who think they can go out in the world and do what they want to do. And then when they get their consequences for what they've done and they had fun doing it. That's what you don't want to acknowledge. These people have fun doing what they're doing. Now, in the real world, because that's what we live in, they're getting what they deserve, which every old man and woman knows this. This is a part of life. It's called karma. But spoiled men that are like children do not want to accept their karma. That's all we dealing with here. While you trying to make me the monster, they're getting their karma. Now that tells you everything that you need to know. Well, why they getting bad karma then? Why they getting bad karma if they're so good? If they're so correct about everything, or why they country toe up like it is? Why they country so toe up? If you are such good people, why are you marrying children? You're not married with children like Al Bundy. You marrying children. You're not married with children. You're marrying children. You ain't Al Bundy, buddy. I'll tell you that. You ain't Al Bundy. So I did what I was supposed to do in the proper context. I was supposed to do something about it. Let's review the facts, guys. I was supposed to do something about it, right? Okay. Granted, right? Granted. That's granted. I took it to God. Most people will say that's again correct. That's it, bro. And God did what he did, which would be correct and just when God does it, right? Boom. You can't do nothing but respect that. All we got is children that can't accept their karma, and I don't care about that. That's what I'm saying. So I explain it to the terrorists just like that. Man. You know what I'm saying? So, and he will feel me. Yeah, I feel you on that. Glory to your name, Yahweh. Amen. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So listen, you can't play with me like I'm some weirdo terrorist person. That's what that needs to be said, bro. That's the McDonald eating corn dog Ronald McDonald mentality y'all got. Sponsored by McDonald's, Wendy's. You know what I'm saying? Arby's. We gonna eat at Arby's. We got the meats. Yeah, you sure do got the meats. You got beef with God, buddy. You got beef with God, buddy. God is on your head. God got a problem with you. And once he do, listen, I can't tell God what to do. I don't control God, bro. I can't manipulate God. So if you're going through what you're going through, bro, listen. And God, listen, that's God on your head, bro. If you're going through what you're going through and God did it to you, that's God's decision. But you ain't man or woman enough to admit that. That's what I'm trying to. It's also a matter in these wars, a matter of manhood and womanhood. Yes, it is. Because when you look at them marrying children, ain't no real men doing that. Ain't no real women doing that. Granted, right? My perspective is understandable. I ain't saying nothing foreign or too far over your head, right? Real men don't marry children, right? Real women don't marry children. Understood, right? Okay. And you can't act like I'm dumb and dumber, like, oh, I just realized y'all have child marriage. No, you can't act like that. You want me to tell you why? Because you went out here not considering it yourself. Well, if you considered this, if you knew this information before, then you never had right to come out here playing with nobody. So either way, I would still be talking about this because you need to understand and have a seat. Okay? So it's not just to inform you, it's for you to have a seat, realizing nobody got no place to do it when you marrying children. You don't got it, so it's not just see, dumb people can't listen to me. You got to be smart to listen to me, bro. You do. In fact, the only people should be over you is smart people. You shouldn't have no dumb people over you. That's why all this happened in the first place. Dumb people acting like a committee over us, like I like to put it. Because they got some type of seniority in the world or on the streets or something. They think I'm subject to them. Meanwhile, you're not smart enough to realize what I'm talking about. That if, either way it goes, if you knew about child marriage laws, then you needed to be re-informed so that you will understand you have no place to play with people in your community like you playing with us. If not for any other reason, you would have to be re-informed about you marrying children so you can have a seat, bruh. So you can listen, right? So either way it go, I would have to have talked about this. Because they try to play with you like you dumb and dumb. Oh, you didn't know that? He like Dumb and Dumber. We just went to the moon. When Jim Carrey said that, you think that's me, it's you. Well, if you was conscious of this, we wouldn't be here, right? We wouldn't be here right here where we at. Okay? Come on, man. Stop playing with me, man. Listen, stop playing with me, bro. Stop playing with me. Stop trying to make me look like everything that you basically look like.